Hello you all, AverageJohn here with another video about what I have read this week. I have 10 comics that I've read this week. So let's get down into it. First off, we have Batman vs. Bigby, A Wolf in Gotham, number 6 by DC's Black Label. This is my script. Made in 2022. Now this is BRZRKER number 1, made in 2021 by Boom and Keanu Reeves. There's another one by Boom. This is All New Firefly, number 1, made in 2022 by Boom. And we have Heavy Metal Drummer, right here, Heavy Metal Drummer, number 1 by Behemoth Entertainment, with no heavy tank this time, just Behemoth, made in 2022. Yeah, I didn't write the detail on that, so I'm going to say it right now, 2022. Alright. Then we have Hellboy and the B.P.R.D. 1957 Forgotten Lives, number 1. It's by Dark Horse. And it was also made in 2022. Now, we have Angel number 1. This is made in 2022 by Boom. Now this is called The Last Book You'll Ever Read, number 1. By Nightfall Comics. This was made in 2021. This is a Kickstarter that I backed, part of a Kickstarter that I backed. This is Spider-Squirrel, made by Freestyle Comics, made in 2021. I believe. This is a great Kickstarter that I helped back. Yeah. This is awesome. More about it later. And we have The Amazing Mary Jane, number 1, made by Marvel in 2021. And last, but certainly not least, we have Gunslinger Spawn number 2. It's made in 2021 by Image Comics. Alright, that's the last, so let's roll it a little bit. I'm using this today. Sorry, I said sorry a lot. So, let's just get on with it. So here is Batman vs. Bigby, A Wolf in Gotham, number 6. It's made by DC's Black Label in 2022. And this is the last book of this series. It's an awesome book, just to let you know. It's written and created by Bill Willingham. So far, Bill Willingham has been involved with all the books of the series. And the art was done by Brian Lovell. Now this is chapter 6, Wild Animals, so so Bookworm, he's all just like trying to do this ritual thing where he imports his soul into another person because his body is old and dying and can't contain the power of the book that he has, which is a book that contains powerful spells but at a cost. They're powerful, but they take a lot of energy from the person, so he's trying to put his soul into someone else. And of course, Batman and Bigby don't want that, so they try to stop him. And they are kind of successful. Not kind of successful. They are successful. And they are. I don't know why I'm repeating myself there. But yeah, they do this, and then Bigby gets the book back. Cinderella is involved with everything. Of course, she ends Bookworm, and she helps get the book back. Turns out, she ends Bookworm, but the entity that was possessing him was actually Frau Totenkinder, the Black Forest witch, the one from Hansel and Gretel that wants to fatten them all up. She's up to her old dirty tricks, and she just wants to get more powerful so she can finally defeat Bigby. But she doesn't. And they all go home, and they're all safe and happily ever after. The end. Now, this one's BRZRKER #1, 2022 by Boom and Keanu Reeves. Written by Keanu Reeves with the help of Matt Kint. And the art was by Ron Garney. I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of those names. I'm just sorry. But yeah, Keanu Reeves' character is basically just an immortal. He's immortal. He doesn't get hurt a lot. And, an immortal has been living a long time. In any story, it seems like only has one complaint, and that is that they wish to be mortal, or one goal, they wish to be mortal. No, because they just want to die. They've experienced everything except dying, and after a while of living, it just gets depressing. So he does these secret government missions, and in return, the government tries to find a solution for him to not be immortal anymore, to live like 80 or so more years, then pass away. So they have this mutual relationship. And he, like I said, he just wants to be dead. So this comic describes like a mission where he goes to like Iraq or whatever. Because the government wants to use him for all these top secret ops because he's the best. There's no getting around that. And they want to keep him alive forever. So they're secretly stalling the serum or whatever. So they're gonna betray each other, or what's gonna happen? Who knows? Who knows? An all new Firefly #1. This is with everyone involved except for Wash. Spoiler, he died in the movie Serenity in 2008. This doesn't have a Shepherd. He also died in the movie in 2008, Serenity. Spoilers for like a almost 20-year-old movie. But it says Malcolm Reynolds, Malcolm Reynolds, Zoe Washburn, Emma, I think, who is the only new character. She is the daughter of Zoe and Wash. Of course. I forgot his name already, but he's a new character, I think. Jane, of course, with the thingy on. And then Kitty, who is actually the new captain of the Serenity. And of course, off screen, you have Inara, you have Simon, you have River. But anyway, so Jane basically goes to this planet called Canton, who he's supposed to be the hero of, right? But after he left, nobody wanted the mud. They all got money, so the mud dried up. So then when the money went, they were jobless, as they were moneyless, and they had no money to transport to another planet. So Jane went from being a hero to a zero on their planet. And, he got into a couple fights, forcing the crew of the Serenity to flee. And, they barely have any gas, as it. They barely have enough gas as it is. Unfortunately, Jane got into a fight with the son of the planet's magistrate. Which means they gotta skedaddle. But yeah. Okay, so her name is Emma. I just read that in my notes. But yeah. Of course. So they run into this planet. They go to this planet, which is not a good planet, but it's the nearest planet they can get to. It's a moon called Lilac. They're going over in this Firefly class ship with regular number 404 E4FE 274A. Serenity. A Firefly class ship is just like a regular cargo ship with tons of stuff to hide. Tons of space to hide, so it's perfect for smugglers like them. But yeah, they go to Lilac, Moon Lilac, which is in the Blue Sun Galaxy. So, all alliance stuff. Cops versus ambiguous criminals, The Alliance versus the Independents are the Browncoats. So, that's what happens. Do they survive on Lilac? Who knows? This is Heavy Metal Drummer #1 by Behemoth Entertainment. Like I said, no happy tank this time. I looked, there is none. It's awesome. It's created and written by Kiefer Fidlow. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, man. From what I've seen, you're a pretty cool dude, not gonna lie. And Emiliano Ziskin. And the art was done by Luna Vasato. The Chapter 1, Overcome the Old Flesh, basically in 1985 in Los Angeles, or 1986 in Los Angeles. There's this heavy metal drummer. A heavy metal drummer named Dave. He was just rocking out, doing his own thing. Then his lead singer gets mad. and just leaves. But it doesn't look like the band is going to play any shows soon because, there's this virus thing going around. First it was in sewer rats, and some cats ate the rats, so they got it too. And then this old cat lady was wanting to help the stray cats, and she ended up tripping, and then the cats kind of gnawed at her, making her have the virus. And then she goes and beats up Dave. Or tries to beat up Dave. I don't know, the comic ends before it gets to Dave. Moral of the story is don't trust old ladies. Just don't. Alright. Next we have Hellboy and the B.P.R.D. 1957 Forgotten Lies by Dark Horse Comics, made 2022 by Dark Horse. Dark Horse, the writer. So, come on. That's the writer of Mark McNutt and Chris Robertson. The art by Stephen Green. Basically, they're in Brooklyn, New York. They're following a lot of urban hauntings, Hellboy and the B.P.R.D. They're at Popper's Field. And they're at Popper's grave, which is apparently a Buddhist reference to Judas and Iscariot, but I don't know, I've never read the Bible or anything, so. But basically it's a ground for the indignant dead. Basically, in those who roam. There's recent sightings of some uncle, whatever. There's recent sightings of some Jacob Stegner. Apparently some dude on Hard Island in the Bronx. But there's nothing really with them as they go. There's sometimes like auctions for lonely people who die, auctions for their stuff. And the guy didn't have much, but he did have something that really perked Hellboy's interest. And it was a calling card that had a lobster on it or something red. And he buys it for $17. And that's where it ends. What does that card mean? What does it do? Next, we have Angel #1 by Boom, written in 2022. This is written by Christopher Cantwell and arted by Daniel Bayliss. There's evil chasing around an angel somewhere. Not an angel, but like one of the angels from an alternate dimension, so he's traveling dimensionally to warn all the angels to kind of train them or defeat the darkness in some way or whatever. So it goes to this dimension. An angel is shooting a show called Angel for Hire. So that's a great theme song. It's a pretty awesome harmonica solo, and it's exciting drums and guitar. And then, of course, it has some noble trumpets as well. He's gonna forget that. It's a big finish. And of course, it's a regular show, so of course he has a partner called Detective Kate Lockley. And then they finish shooting. They finish shooting and goes to the director. He's keeping a secret that he's actually a vampire. So Angel is like the real Angel from like the show and stuff. And yeah, and the other Angel does show up and tries to tell him about this darkness that's coming. And then takes him to the they even takes him to the spirit house. Okay. Got tripped up. Oh no. Alright. There we go. And after that, we have The Last Book You'll Ever Read. It's by Nightfall Comics, made in 2021 by Cullen Bunn and Leitha Leahy. But, so basically this book is about an author who writes a book to kind of open people's minds to the world that they are in. Basically just, they already do, but like the book unlocked their primal futures or whatever. So now the world is dangerous. And these people who are zombie-like, not zombie, but they're like in a trance. And yeah, I mean, yeah, and the author is Olivia Cade. The book is Satyr, that's Satyr. Yeah. And people start to think, hey, maybe the book she's written, Satyr, is a manifesto for like darkness, for anarchy, for what? You know? But who knows? But she needs protection and all that stuff. And so she gets it. Yeah, but everyone around her is just being killed. So how long will she get it? Who knows? Alright, now we have the Kickstarter that I kickstarted last year. An awesome book is Spider-Squirrel by Freestyle Comics. Created by Charlie McElvey. It was written by Eric and Dennett, Ian Sharman, Scott Falk, and Vito DeSanti. Artists DC Stopner, Mitch Ballard, David Wine, Mark Thomas, and Andrea Errico. Basically, this dude named Charlie Jarrett is Spider-Squirrel. He is dashing, he's daring, he's intelligent, he's funny, he's flirtatious, and he's a student at the University of Richmond. And he's working for MIC, for Mike, for the Metahuman Incident Corps. And he sees this new villain called the Ultra Urbanite, who somehow transported to there from like the 90s. So he's Ultra 90s, and Spider-Squirrel's like, you know what? I'm gonna battle him, I'm gonna defeat him and stuff. Spider-Squirrel and Ultra Urbanite, they meet, and just when they're about to exchange blows, Spider-Squirrel transports into another dimension, I think. Another dimension. Another dimension. Oh, hold on. I got it. and he transports to Kansas City, Oregon. Where he's caught up with a fight between like Steel Wolf and Steel Wolf and Vault. Sorry. And he defeats Vault. He helps defeat Vault. And of course, just when him and Steel Wolf are about to celebrate, guess what? It transports again. Transports this thing called Watersville, or Weirdsville, as it's called, which has a weird spot by the bay on top of the ocean, and that's where Charlie Matthews comes. That's where Spider-Squirrel comes out of. And then, of course, the first person he meets is Hypergirl, who is also Charlie Matthews. Now, I just got the names confused. Charlotte. That was Charlie Matthews. Charlie Matthews is Hypergirl and punches Spider-Squirrel back to the weird hole that it came from. And then, of course, meanwhile, on the Earth that Spider-Squirrel came from, a sidekick Trash Panda steps in and starts to fight Ultra Urbanite. He goes to the whole video game mode. The video game mode is even called Alley Brawler 2. Yeah. And there's another superhero called Misery. Yeah. But, of course, where did Spider-Squirrel land, and when did he land? He landed on Island in 1963. And then he starts to fight this alien who's a big worm called Tardigrade. Yeah, and he gets beaten by Dr. Phileas Reed and the Institute of the Impossible. Then he starts to transport again. And then he runs into Bike Girls. And now, we have The Amazing Mary Jane, #1, made by Marvel in 2019. It's written by Leah Williams, and the artist was Carlos Gomez. Now MJ is battling Doc Ock and King the Conqueror, but in a movie this time. So, she's playing Spider-Man, someone else playing Doc Ock, someone else playing King the Conqueror. And this movie is all fake or whatever. A movie that's being directed by Cage McKnight. Cage McKnight is the person who is directing this movie that is sympathetic towards Mysterio. Well, that's because Cage McKnight is Mysterio in disguise. And he wants to prove that he was doing good things, that he's a good person. He wants to do that all in all while Spider-Man's still swinging around and all that. Now, last but not least, is Gunslinger Spawn #2, made in 2021 by Image. Writer is Todd McFarlane, and the artist is Brent Booth. Now, Gunslinger's still trying to get adjusted to life in like 2022, basically. So he's just 2021, whichever. But he's battling the army of angels, right? So that he rips off both the wings of one angel, which causes insanity in the angel. But then the little guy's father, the Bartlett, comes out of that house and just starts just shooting out Spawn, regardless of his time replacement or whatever. Practically immortal, right? So that Mr. Bartlett tries to shoot him with the shotgun. He fails, and then Spawn ends up decapitating him. Now after all that, his son decides to stick with Gunslinger Spawn, and it's just like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna house you and stuff. My parents have been leading me on the slide. They were involved with like the angels and demons and stuff, and I said nothing about it. So, you know what? Cool. And Gunslinger Spawn, of course, just like, what are these shenanigans that are in this house? Like, and he starts playing with the toilet and stuff because he doesn't understand. And he's just like, why would you put an outhouse at the bottom floor and then put the house like around it? Wouldn't that stink up the whole place and all that stuff? Just funny, hilarious stuff. So, anyway, I'm done with this video. It's done. Look for me later.